But the moment I say that I'm not going to succumb to this because this is my purpose, this is something that I want to contribute to the society, come what may. And I think then the path is absolutely clear.
I love working with these women because what actually happens is they doubt themselves because they didn't grow up with social media. They didn't grow up with LinkedIn. They're not sure how it all works.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I say all of that every time under this banner of the Revolving Perspectives because people are watching this interview from various corners of the world. And whatever the time zone you're watching it from, I'm wishing you all of that. So, hello after a long time. And we are here, as you know, with this independent series on the occasion of the International Women's Day, celebrating womanhood. We are conducting a series of interviews with women across the world and to understand how they look at womanhood, this International Women's Day, and the journey of women overall. As you all know, I've been talking about it that Women's Day is just one day, but it's not celebration of that one day particularly because it is everyday thing, every moment thing. So let's understand from these women who are living that life and what all they are doing in their lives, if that could be a guiding light, an inspiration for all of us, or learning point for all of us. Let's pick up, grab something from what they have to say, the way they look at their lives. So today we have somebody who will talk to us about on the same lines. Now, as a woman, I want to ask one question to all of you. How do you look at your career? You must be in some profession or maybe a homemaker. What is your perspective about building a career as a woman? I'm sure there have been lots of ups and downs, and you must have all experienced that, gathered learning for yourself from your own journeys. We will understand it from a career counselor. She is a counselor guiding people from very early age to even a later age, like from at the age of say 3, 4 to even 60, 70. Because career does not have an age bar, and we all know that. At any point in time, one can start it. She's also a podcaster. So we will try and understand how she looks at womanhood, journey of a woman, and her own journey, if we can pick up something from her as well. Let's welcome Dr. Vishakha Vohra, who's a counselor, psychologist, PH.D holder, and who's done a lot of work in the field of psychology. Welcome, Vishakha.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Vinda.
Yes. So it's gonna be a quick interview, Vishakha, where we want to understand all of that, which I just said. And my first question to you is women and career. How do you look at it as a career counselor and as a woman as well?
Okay. So Vinda, firstly, thank you for inviting me on Revolving Perspectives. It's an honor to be here on this forum. As a career, so one has to firstly look at what is your perspective or what is your idea about what a career means. Because in psychology, we define career as anything that makes you productive. So it is distinct from it being remunerative. It is you're being productive. So even as a mother or as a homemaker or as a stay-at-home person, you are still being productive. In fact, much more so if you look at. So I define career as being productive. And as a career guidance counselor, my job is to ensure that, see, every individual is born with a particular amount of potential. So my job is to help them discover what is the maximum extent to which they can reach their potential.
Wow.
What are the barriers that they themselves probably perceive because of whatever misconceptions or because of external factors, and how to overcome these barriers, discovering your own strengths, discovering your own, what you can achieve if you really want to do it. So that's what my role as a career guidance counselor is. So that is what I would define as a career and as career counseling per se.
That is a great insight, Vishakha, because I know. that, yeah, please go ahead. You were saying.
You wanted me to say specifically in terms of women, right?
Yes, because women, and I think it's not only women, we all look at career as something which can be remunerated, which is obvious, and the way world has been looking at it. So women who are not earning but doing something, maybe to keep themselves engaged, or maybe it is because their passion, something as called as area of interest, and you are giving a frame and a definition to that as well, accommodating that as calling it as a productivity, which is a great thing. That's a good insight for me, and I think everybody listening to this interview as well. I want to ask, connecting to this, about have you experienced or spoken to women who have reached out to you for something where they are not expecting any remuneration, not expecting any particular job or maybe business or whatever. They want to do something for themselves, and with that intention, they have reached out to you. Has that happened ever?
Yes, Vinda. So increasingly so,
Mm.
more and more, I think it's a great thing that now awareness has increased, and especially during the pandemic, people understood that you need not be just running into the rat race. You also need to find time for your own self.
Correct.
And yes, a lot of women reached out to me because they had put their own interests or their own passions on a back burner,
Mm.
because they had so many priorities going on at the same time. So for the first time, they were like, what can I do for my own self? What
Wow.
can I how can I find joy? And joy is something that is contagious. If you are happy, if you are very joyful from within,
Mm.
everybody around you is going to experience that, because that aura around you would be propagating to all people,
Perfect.
right? So when women discover that, when they discover that, then the sky is the limit, so they can
Correct. Correct.
actually look at achieving anything and everything that they want.
Wonderful, wonderful. I am happy that awareness is building, and women are reaching out with this intention. I'm really happy about it, because running in that rat race is everybody doing. But figuring this out or reaching out to that level of awareness that okay, I want to do something beyond earning money is very important. Now I'm switching my question to a different level now. You were also into career guidance, so you were talking to a lot of youngsters, or maybe school going children, or maybe somebody who are getting into some profession as well. I am looking at it from a different perspective now. As parents, whom do you find taking more interest in a child's career option, a mom or a dad?
I would say the interest is from both parents,
Okay.
but each of them bring a different perspective.
All right.
So a way a mother will know her own child and the way a father will look at the child is completely different. A
Okay.
mother will look at all the things that the child only shares with her
Hmm.
exclusively,
Hmm.
with the bond that a child typically has with a mother. And with a father, it is more out of a respect of a worldview that they are looking for. So the conversations are completely different. So the interest is there from both people. Both parents are involved today,
Hmm.
especially now because we have majority of single kids, a maximum of 2 children.
Hmm.
So parents are highly involved. But yes, as I said, the perspective that each one of them brings is completely different, and sometimes you see stark differences.
Oh,
Very
really?
It's very rare. Yeah, it's very rare when I have seen both parents being completely on the same page as far as how they want their yeah, how they want their child to go about deciding on their career.
All
And you
right.
know what, I always emphasize this, and this is something that I would like to use this platform also to emphasize. When
Mhm.
your child is making a career decision, make sure that it is his or her decision alone.
Yes.
You as parents, me as a counselor, family members or other siblings are all the supporting cast, but the main role, the main
Right.
actor or the actress is the child. And all that we need to do is build them up, give them that kind of support
Mm.
which they require to have this journey as smooth as possible.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good insight for parents, I'm sure. Now that I was coming to this point, what has been your experience with parents, and you have talked about the perspective that a mom brings and a perspective that a dad brings, I'm sure this is building your worldview also. As a professional, as a career counselor, you must be gaining a lot out of it. And your personal journey also must be getting enriched with all of this. So now that we're talking about this personal journey as well, I also want to ask you that it has been your journey. I know that you've done, initially you worked with Tatas, and then the journey where you are now independently working as a career counselor, you're also a homemaker. So in all of this journey of yourself, what are those key learning points or the insights that you have gathered or picked up for yourself, which have been those guiding lights for you? What were they?
Okay. In a nutshell, I would say keep learning and keep growing. That would be the two basic mantras that I have
Yeah,
followed.
yeah,
So
that's the
whether,
universal truth. I'm
yeah,
sure gamed in for that.
yeah. So let me expand on that. So whether I was working full time, whether I was at home for some period of time, whether I was working part time, or now when I am 24/7 busy because I am doing my own thing. So every point of time, if you have that learning attitude, and every small incident also teaches you. So observation, keen observation of what is happening around you, what is happening within you,
Hmm.
even that is very important. Because we do not have the same emotion or the same reaction, and we are not at one level all the time. There are ups and downs. So
Correct.
even observing yourself almost from a distance, wherein you are able to look at things objectively, not from just an emotional perspective,
Hmm.
that has helped me in my journey.
Okay.
Yes, obviously, like I said, there have been highs and lows. There have been, like, where I felt I was wondering that where exactly am I going?
Hmm.
Is my career heading in the right direction, or am I, making mistakes? So obviously, I also had those self-doubts and questions. But at every point, if you just, kind of try to look at things objectively, and then you do come to answers, you do come to the conclusions that I need to maybe let go of something, or this is not working out for me. So
Hmm.
maybe this is not something that I should unnecessarily put a lot of time and effort into. Let me go and discover something else.
Yes.
And overcoming that fear of going towards something new,
Hmm.
that also is very important, because we get comfortable कि चल रहा
Absolutely.
है. Let's keep on doing what is, let's not get out of the comfort zone. So I guess these are some of the things that I would say. Keep learning and growing has been, as I said, like, just to expand upon it.
So,
So
was there any specific stark experience which taught you this? I mean, has there been any specific thing which you experienced, or and you felt that okay, this is how I want to go ahead in my life now?
not really, Vinda. I have been
Okay.
always like a flowing river,
All right.
like so. Take life as it comes. What I would definitely say is that the journey has taught me now more patience. The
Right.
journey has now at a point I am where I am no longer, bothered about things getting delayed or things not working out right now. So I should get
Hmm.
hyper about it. That doesn't happen anymore. So yes, maybe over the years this has been a learning.
Okay.
But there was no single incident, not really. So it has
All
been a
right.
series of things.
Sort
But
of.
at every point of time, there was that, that thought that I want to keep myself busy, and I always need to do something, that one thing that I enjoy. So
Right.
it could be reading. It could be like I love gardening, so it could be that. It could be taking a walk. That is for a personal thing.
Hmm.
Or it could be, working or doing something because I want to do it or I enjoy doing it, like podcasting. I feel that this is something that I enjoy doing because I love talking to people, I love interacting with people, and it goes so well into what I enjoy doing. And
Okay.
it is associated with my what I want to actually give back to society also. So
Correct.
every point of time, always there was this thought was definitely there, that I
Okay.
should do at least that one thing that is only for me,
Only.
not because I have to do it for my family or for external world. No, this is for me and I will do it.
Great. Now that you spoke about podcasting, I'm sure there must be one day when you must have begun, when the thought must have started tickling you, and from there you must have built over it. How did it happen to you? I mean, what made you or what brought you to podcasting?
Okay, so as a career guidance counselor, through my work, I always found that, a lack of information, genuine and realistic information was apparent, whether it was the students or their parents or whether it was professional, there was always a lack of correct information.
Okay.
So the thought was always there that, a great way to learn is to actually talk to somebody who is working in that field, because then you have a first hand experience with the person, it's a vicarious learning you're having.
Yes.
So that thought was there. So I began with a series of posts on Instagram. So I had this a career a day. So every day I used to take one career and talk
Talk
about the
about.
why, how, and where about it. But I felt that this is limited to a niche audience of youngsters. Now, what is it that is something I can do to which can go to a wider audience, which is including the parents, which is also including the grandparents. Many a times grandparents also want to chip in and give some kind of advice to the youngsters. So how can I reach all these people? So podcasting then was an obvious solution. And it so happened that the day I was thinking this, on one of the social media, a small course was advertised on podcasting. So it was kind of
It
a
just went.
coincidence. Exactly. So I said, wow, this is a sign. I think let me just, understand more about this. And this was a just 1 day, 3 hour interactive course I did. And that's where the journey began.
Okay, great, great. So coming towards now concluding part of our interview, I have this last question reserved for you is, now we are doing this on the occasion of or as a reminder of International Women's Day, celebrating womanhood we are saying. So how do you look at it? How do you look at this day and this concept of celebrating womanhood?
So I believe that all days that we celebrate, they are symbolic.
Correct.
The celebration is, it's a perpetual celebration.
Mm.
So the any day which you celebrate yourself as a woman is Women's Day.
Perfect. I
Yes.
absolutely echo that. Vishakha, I feel every moment is a celebration because it's about your identity, about your own self. But we still have this one particular day. Do you have something to say to all the women audience and even the men audience who are listening to this interview that you want them to take along with them?
So I would say each one of you is completely unique. You have been made so as to contribute something very important in this world. So make sure you do that. Make sure you do not limit yourself. Make sure you discover and fulfill your complete potential, and and then you will realize that literally the world is your oyster. You can do so many things. So make
Wow.
sure you do that and celebrate yourself. That is very, very important, whether it's a small or a big achievement, but celebrate it for your own. And that, like I said earlier, that if you are happy,
Mm.
you are going to spread the joy around you. And just imagine if everybody does that, the world would be so much better.
Wow. Thank you so much for giving us these pointers and reiterating this point particularly that we ourselves contribute to building our own aura. And if we are happy, if we are joyful, I'm sure the aura automatically gets built. And it's
Absolutely.
not only for ourselves, it is contagious. So it moves on and takes all the people around us along with us. So Vishakha, thank you so much for sharing your views and giving this definition to us. Let me now, conclude this with a small chat with my audience. Vishakha, talk to us about this new definition. I wouldn't call it completely new as such, but it is a perspective. And it is important to understand for all of us that career is not something which only gives you money. It is something beyond that, where you need to explore yourselves and understand what all that you want to do for yourself first, and then probably as a contribution to the society. If it gives us happiness, joy, we are all given in, we must go for it. And hence, whether you are earning or no, whether you're contributing to family income or no, is a secondary thing. The primary thing is whether you are happy or no. And that's what Vishakha talked about. Thank you, Vishakha, and thank you, everyone. The series will continue for this week until 8th March, which is International Women's Day. We are celebrating womanhood, and though this is one day, we are celebrating every moment of our life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vidya.
So at this moment, I will say focus on the present, set your goal into bite size, where you can achieve it in the quickest span of time.
Self-talk is the most important. There is nobody out there who's going to encourage you as much as you can.
Your image must be an inspiration for change, because you can be the power for change.